Let's have a run through the grid then for this Junior Supermoto 90 and Mini GP 90 race number 1. Sitting on pole position is the 135 of Jack Newton with a 132.05. Luca Wilkinson only just behind, 0.4 of a second down, 132.09. Tyler Humphries third from Daniel Stevenson. Hudson Cooper and Jack Hamilton starting 6th on the grid. 7th for Travis Shaw. Billy Carter will be 8th. 9th for Logan Connolly, 10th Charlie Ward, Leo Solio 11th, and Harvey Saville in 12th position. 13th for Owen Tempest, and rounding up the grid with a 2:10.52 is the number 13 of Finley Hanna. Now, looking at some of those lap times there, of course, it is a bit wet out there, so maybe not as quick as it would be on a dry track, of course, but just goes to show how long this Teesside circuit is, 2.5 kilometres, and riders will be taking to the track very shortly. Again, just looking at the overview of the track here as they make their way out for the formation lap. It'll be interesting to see just how riders cope with these conditions, because we've got, as I say, a dry day. There are quite a few dry lines out there, but certainly some damp patches, and certainly off the racing line as well. There are some very slippery parts of the track that could catch out the unwary. Looking at one or two of the approaches into the hairpins later in the lap, we've got this very long back straight, of course, where the riders really pick up some speed. And even some of the SuperMinis in dry conditions. This back straight here we're looking at now, when they come off the straight towards the hairpin, they can top out at around 85 miles an hour. So it gives you an idea of just how quickly the riders circulate down there, straight into a hairpin. And that hairpin catching out a few riders this morning. We had a few riders losing the front end going down. Fortunately, no injuries and nothing serious, but just goes to show that it is a little bit treacherous as the riders make their way up to the line for this first race of the day. Of course, starting a little bit earlier than normal. Usually we're looking around a midday start. We're underway here just after 10:40 p.m. A full morning and afternoon of racing, followed, of course, by the presentation a bit later on as the riders. This gives you an idea here of how it gets really technical towards the end of the lap. Really long, winding hairpins as the riders make their way back towards the grid. Don't forget, of course, if you're watching on the Alpha live stream, to drop into YouTube and leave your comments, support your riders. We'll try and get some shout-outs during the day, but we are about to get ourselves underway with racing for this final round of the Rich Energy British Mini Bikes Championship for 2020. And you really have to say hats off to the organisers here, the team at British Mini Bikes, for all their hard work. It's, as you don't need me to say, of course, it's been a very difficult year. And the championship only getting underway in July at Selhurst Park. Seems so long ago already, but even in that 6th-round time, we've had some fantastic racing. And as we said earlier in the programme, still plenty of championship classes to be decided throughout the day. Some of them, I think, could even go to the very last race, if not the last lap. It'll be that close. Throw in, of course, the potentially difficult conditions, and we could be in for quite an exciting afternoon. Riders are pretty much ready, as you can see. Most of the riders on the grid opting for the wet weather tyres. It is still a bit hairy out there. The weather's supposed to brighten up during the day, but we have had some very heavy overnight rain. Very early in the morning, around 5 a.m. this morning, there was a real downpour in the local area, and it's really washed the circuit and made things a little bit slippery out there. But we are about ready to go. We'll keep an eye out on the different classes, of course. We've got the JSM 90s, and here we go. They're on the way. Riders immediately going into the chicane, nice and gently through there, and it looks like Luca Wilkinson has got the jump and taken the lead from Jack Newton. One rider left on the grid, but doesn't seem to be anything serious as they make their way around to the back of the circuit for the first time into this long right-handed sweep. So Luca Wilkinson with a great start there in the Supermotos from Jack Newton. Looks like Billy Carter, the first of the Mini GPs, a little bit further back, currently sitting in 8th position. Up at the top of the circuit now, they crest and make their way down towards the back straight, where they will come flying down in just a few moments. And there we see the number 76 of Luca Wilkinson. Looks like Tyler Humphries has got through to 2nd place and is breaking away from the pack now. So looking to tag onto the back of Luca Wilkinson as they come flying down the back straight. That camera angle really gives you a great idea of the speed they carry into this hairpin. Now, this is the tricky part of the track where we saw a few riders go down this morning. But the leaders making their way through a little bit gingerly there, just getting used to the track. And as we said, it's a little bit slippery out there, so caution on this first lap, you would say, not to bin it in those early stages. Round the final few corners, they come back towards the finish line as the pack. Nice start there, everyone pretty much staying out of trouble on that first lap. Oh, was right on cue. Somebody a little bit close to the apex of the hairpin there. Did well to save that one as they went through the water. I think that may have been actually Tyler Humphries, the second place rider, who just caught one of the puddles on the inside on the curb, but saved the bike and didn't really lose much time. Around the final corner they go and over the line. Let's have a look at the lap times as they go through. Luca Wilkinson, your early leader, 1:36 on the button. But look out for Tyler Humphries in second place here, just over half a second down. Still Hamilton from Newton in fourth place. Fifth position, Daniel Stevenson, Travis Shaw. The seventh position, Hudson Cooper, Billy Carter, Charlie Ward and Harvey Saville rounding out the top 10. Leo Solio, Owen Tempest, Finley Hanna and Logan Conley a little bit further behind as it gets a bit tasty at the front. Luca Wilkinson coming under a bit of pressure. Jack Hamilton very much involved in this as the leaders make their way down the back straight. And hovering all over the back wheel now is the number 191 of Tyler Humphries. Very close. The riders starting to top out on speed down the back straight through the little sweeping chicane. Straight lining through there. And Luca Wilkinson, a nice line into the corner, defending that line and making life difficult now for him. Humphries in second place, but Tyler Humphries, the 191 in second. Having a peek down the inside, it wasn't really on there, but just trying to find a way through as Wilkinson controls the race at the front. Humphries really does look threatening in second place, and certainly Jack Hamilton and Jack Newton, third and fourth place, will be looking to get involved in this battle for the lead. Still quite a way to go in this one as Wilkinson guards that lead. Humphries all over the back wheel here, but of course treacherous track here. It's very risky to go off the racing line onto the wet stuff. You've really got to be decisive to make the move as they cross the line once again. Humphries again has a look down the inside into the chicane, but no, Wilkinson's got the line. Tyler Humphries, fastest lap of the race, well, momentarily there. Daniel Stevenson in fourth with a 1:31.35, so the pace really picking up on that second lap. The leaders make their way around the back of the circuit once again. Wilkinson pulls away slightly from Tyler Humphries. Still Jack Hamilton, Daniel Stevens and Jack Newton battling a little bit further behind. Travis Shaw, sixth position. Seventh, Hudson Cooper, Billy Carter, Charlie Ward and Leo Solly rounding out the top 10. Harvey Saville and Logan Conley moves up to 12th from Owen Tempest as the leaders make their way through. Finley Hanna just a little bit further behind in 14th position. Leaders coming down the back straight through the sweeping chicane down towards the hairpin. You can see the dry line starting to develop through there. Wilkinson keeping the momentum going through there, making life difficult here for Humphries in second. A little bit rough through the hairpin there for Wilkinson, the leader, but doesn't lose much time. Humphries is right on him though in second place as they make their way towards this sweeping long right-hander. Back towards the finish they go. They've got one more hairpin section to go as they make their way back towards us. Humphries taking the inside line through the sweeping hairpin there, just trying to grab a bit of track distance on Wilkinson, the race leader. Leader of the Mini GPs, incidentally, is the 8th position. Billy Carter from Charlie Ward in 9th on the 127. Those riders a little bit further back. And Finley Hanna rounding up the field, 14th, third of the Mini GPs. All the action here at the front, though, as Humphries tries to gain on Wilkinson, who seems to pull away at the start lap, has a nice line through that first chicane, and just seems to edge away slightly from Tyler Humphries. The top two riders starting now to pull away from the rest of the field. Luca Wilkinson, fastest lap of the race, 1:31.31. Battle starting to develop for third place with Jack Hamilton, Daniel Stevenson and Jack Newton third, fourth and fifth. As we look at the number 11 of Stevenson, all over the back of Jack Hamilton as they make their way down the back straight. Losing ground slightly on the leaders, but they're still very much within range as Stevenson has a look at Hamilton. And there he goes into the chicane. So Jack Hamilton drops to fourth, Daniel Stevenson up to third. Nice move into the sweeping chicane as they start to pick their way through some of the slow riders. I think that may have been Finley Hanna, 14th place, just being lapped, conceding the racing line to the leading riders. Well, certainly here, Jack Hamilton, I don't think he's throwing in the towel by any stretch. Stevenson trying to pull away. Now, Daniel Stevenson is up to third, and I am sure we'll have visions of catching up on the two leaders who are starting to get close. This little battle here, third through to fifth, could still yet get involved with the leaders. Tyler Humphries hasn't yet made a move for the lead. Can't quite get close enough to get the front wheel down the inside possibly, but if those two start trading paint, so to speak, these three riders who are just crossing the line now could get involved. And Stevenson, incidentally, fastest lap of the race, only just 1:31.24. But third through to fifth, certainly looking threatening as the leaders make their way towards the top of the circuit. It's still Luca Wilkinson, your race leader, as Humphries starts to close up down the back straight. It's looking very close indeed. Around the back of the circuit they go. Stevenson still in third, but he can't shake off Hamilton. Jack Hamilton, there he is, just cresting the little knoll there around the back of the circuit towards the straight. Here they come back towards us once again. And Wilkinson still leads. Hamilton just trying to find a way through, but of course they're down the straight now. The bike's topping out on speed. But look at Stevenson in third. He is really flying down that back straight. Has a nice line through the chicane. Starts to break away slightly from Jack Hamilton. And he could yet get involved. Only 1.5 seconds covering first and third. So this race is still wide open with 4 laps to go. Through the technical part of the track, through the chicanes. Gets a bit slower through here. Good smooth line choice is essential as they make their way through this sweeping right-hand hairpin, a bold corner here. Humphries had a nice line on the previous lap and still sticking to that inside line, but Wilkinson again taking that line a little bit tighter. Possibly a bit more grip on the inside. But Humphries does seem quick through these final twisty corners, back towards the finish line. Can't find a way through at the moment though, and Stevenson in third, the number 11, certainly looking to get involved. You cannot write off Jack Hamilton or Jack Newton either as they cross the line. The pace picking up once again. We're into the 1:30s now. Daniel Stevenson, another fastest lap, 1:30.74, 1.27 seconds covering the top 3 riders. Hamilton and Newton, 4th and 5th, as Travis Shaw just a bit further behind. Hudson Cooper, Billy Carter, Charlie Ward, and Leo Solier rounding out the top 10. Harvey Saville, Logan Connolly, Owen Tempest, and Finley Hanna a bit further behind. I think Hanna may have been the rider who was stalled on the line, so got adrift a little bit from the rest of the pack, but still circulating. And third from the Mini GPs. Here they come down the back straight as look at Stevenson. Here he comes. He's got a flying line down that straight. Goes down the inside of Stevenson. Gets the move done before the sweeping chicane. And here they come into the hairpin. Stevenson looking very threatening indeed with 3 laps to go. There's a slower rider just in front. I think that may be the 13th place of Owen Tempest, who holds his line. Tempest just letting the leaders find their own way through as Humphries dropping to third now from the very threatening looking number 11 of Daniel Stevenson. The race coming to a close now. We'll have 2 laps to go next time round. As, oh, Wilkinson runs wide. Oh, he's had mechanical trouble. I think he's trying to bump start the bike, I believe. Has he got it going? Oh, he looks disappointed to say the least, you would say there. Poor Luca Wilkinson, there's something wrong. Well, he's no response from the throttle there. The bike is out of action. He is out of the race. What a shame for Luca Wilkinson on that right-hand sweep, and you can see the disappointment. He was running so well, and Wilkinson is he is furious, and who can blame him? He looks distraught as he kicks the tyre barrier in despair. Really bad luck for him there. Some sort of mechanical issue would see him on that right-hand hairpin, which means, of course, all of a sudden, Tyler Humphries has gone back through into the lead. He lost that second place momentarily to Daniel Stevenson as they make their way down the back straight. So here we go. The battle of a second has turned into the battle for the lead. Humphries guarding the inside line on the exit of the hairpin. He knows that Stevenson's quick through there, but Stevenson a sweep round the outside as they make their way down to the chicane. Nice move there. Daniel Stevenson really does have that back straight nailed, you would say. Through the hairpin they go. Stevenson back into the lead now from Humphries, but Humphries is quick on this final part of the track. Here he comes down the inside, has a look into the chicane, but no. Stevenson holds that line. Here we go through the right-hand bowl corner that claimed the 76 of Luca Wilkinson last time round. The 2 leaders making their way through. Humphries down the inside. Oh, he parks it down there now. Is he going to lose traction on the outside here? Will Stevenson be able to repass? No. Nice move there from Humphries, who holds the inside line on the hairpin. Really does have that final part of the lap nailed as they make their way back towards the finish line once again. 1 lap to go. So Humphries back into the lead, but Stevenson, the riders do seem to be quicker on different parts of the track. Jack Hamilton still third from Jack Newton. Travis Shaw now up to 5th. Of course, all these riders promoted a position. Hudson Cooper, Billy Carter, Charlie Ward, Leo Soliu, 9th, Logan Connolly rounding out the top 10. Leaders now up towards the top of the circuit. Was that Charlie Ward in front? Possibly. Here they come to the top of the circuit as they make their way to the top. Oh, bulked slightly above the back mark. A bit of bad luck there as the unfortunate Finley Hanlon just touched the back wheel of Jack Hamilton, but nothing serious. The riders keep on going, and it looks like Stevenson lost a bit of time on that back section. Jack Newton in fourth, still involved in this one, but Tyler Humphries may have done enough here through the chicane for the final time. Stevenson trying to catch up, but he lost his advantage at the top of the circuit. He's very quick down the back straight, but he wasn't close enough to go for the pass. And Humphries, this is the part of the track where he seems quite strong here, so he's going to make that bike very wide and park it on those apexes of the corners. Here he comes towards the ball corner for the last time. Dramatic first race here as Humphries, nice and neatly through the ball corner. You can see the dry line starting to develop there on the inside. Into the hairpin once again. He's got enough in the bag. He's got to try and keep the bike on two wheels here. Just saw the bike squirreling through the hairpin there. It is very treacherous in places, so Humphries had a bit of work to do. Here he comes though, round the final few corners up towards the finish line, and the 191 of Tyler Humphries takes the first race win of the day. Daniel Stevenson a little bit further behind. Jack Hamilton third, Jack Newton in fourth. Travis Shaw is going to come through in fifth any moment now. So the number 4, Travis Shaw, a little bit further behind from that battle for the lead. He'll finish almost certainly in fifth place. You have to say though, bad luck to Luca Wilkinson, who looked very strong, but some sort of mechanical issue it would appear on the stream back to the finish line, out of the race, and hopefully we'll see him a bit later on. There goes Travis Shaw in fifth position. Hudson Cooper crossing the line on the 217 in sixth position. Here comes the winner of the Mini GPs. That's the 85 of Billy Carter, seventh position. So Billy Carter seventh on the track, first of Mini GPs. Charlie Ward, there he goes, finishing in 8th position. Owen Tempest and Finley Hanna crossing the line 12th and 13th respectively.